Hello again, everyone. This is Marcus, and I review stuff. Today I'm reviewing the song Afterlife, but the alternative version from Avenged Sevenfold. As I mentioned in my last review of an Avenged Sevenfold song, I've been an A7X fan for a really long time, like since I was in middle school or high school or something like that, which was a long time ago. What? Stop knocking stuff over. So anyway, I've never heard this alternate version, so I didn't realize that Diamonds in the Rough had actually been released before as part of a DVD CD combo, but now they're re-releasing it on vinyl and digital, and so that's where the last Avenged Sevenfold song I listened to came from, and then that's where this one comes from also. So I've never heard it before. I'd never listened to Diamonds in the Rough. And so I'm curious about what this alternate version sounds like. You know, Afterlife is one of those songs I've been listening to since it came out for many, many, many years now. So, and it's honestly an Avenged Sevenfold song that I really, really enjoy. So, I'm kind of interested to see how this alternate version shapes out. That's one reason I wanted to react to it, was because, I want to see if it holds up to my love of the original version, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, this is one of my picks, but as always, I'm taking requests. If you would like to hear me or see me react to something, you just let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to get to it. Alright, here we go. This is Avenged Sevenfold Afterlife alternate version.
Like walking into a dream, so unlike what you've seen, so unsure but it seems like they've been waiting for you. Falling into this place, just giving you a small taste of your afterlife. Here, so stay, you'll be back as soon anyway. I see a distant light, my girl, this can't be right. Such a surreal place to see. So how did this come to be? Robbed you Wally. And when I think of all the places I just don't belong, I've come to grips with life and realize this is going too far. I don't belong here, we gotta move on here. This
So, having listened to, I guess, the original studio version so much in my life, the differences were definitely apparent. And I would say my initial reaction is that I did like the additional orchestral pieces in there, but I can see why they potentially left them out of the original version. It does seem maybe a little bit too crowded upon first listen. And maybe that might just be because I am used to the original version, but listening to that, like, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy that song a lot on its own, and so to kind of hear a different sort of take on it is very enjoyable for me. But I can see why they left a lot of those extra orchestral pieces out of the original version, because it did seem a little bit crowded. Like, I was trying to listen to M Shadows and the guitars and the orchestral pieces, the violin and everything else, and so just seemed a little crowded, a little bloated in certain parts of it. But I enjoyed it. You know what? Many of us have heard this song multiple times now, but let's still look at the lyrics. Why not? Let's see, which tab do I have them on? Here we are. Like walking into a dream, so unlike what you've seen, so unsure, but it seems, 'cause we've been waiting for you, fallen into this place, just giving you a small taste of your afterlife, here to stay, you'll be back here soon anyway. So, to me, this has always been about getting to the afterlife. But it sounds like someone who hasn't quite died. They had like a near-death experience, or maybe they died and were able to be resuscitated, and so it's like they're walking into the afterlife, but it's just giving you a small taste of your afterlife. You'll be back here soon, right? So I think it's a near-death experience. I see a distant light, but girl, this can't be right. Such a surreal place to see. So how did this come to be? Arrived too early. So someone who met their end too early in their life. And when I think of all the places I just don't belong, I've come to grips with life and realized this is going too far. So he's realizing he doesn't belong in this afterlife. I don't belong here, we gotta move on, dear, escape from this afterlife. So I guess maybe it's about a person who is turning their life around now because they realize, oh shit, I'm going to hell if I keep doing the stuff that I'm doing. Because this time I'm right to move on and on, far away from here. A place of hope and no pain, perfect skies with no rain. Can leave this place but refrain, because we've been waiting for you, falling into this place, just giving you a small taste of your afterlife, here to stay, you'll be back here soon anyway. This peace on earth's not right, with my back against the wall, no pain or sign of time, I'm much too young to fall, so out of place, don't want to stay, I feel wrong and that's my sign, I've made up my mind. I've always thought that in that verse, he feels like he's in heaven, but he doesn't belong, and I could be wrong in that, but I've always kind of assumed that's kind of what it meant, right? Because going back, it says a place of hope and no pain, perfect skies and no rain. It sounds like a pretty heavenly place, right? And then the next one, this peace on earth's not right, with my back against the wall, no pain or sign of time. Again, still talking about heaven, I would assume. And then he's saying, I think he's saying, I'm so out of place, I don't want to stay. I feel wrong and that's my sign, I've made up my mind. Give me your hand, but realize I just want to say goodbye. Please understand, I have to leave and carry on my own life. So with that too, I wonder if, because there's obviously some sort of thing going on where he's leaving someone he loves or cares about, and that might be an allusion to dying and leaving your loved ones behind, but I'm not entirely sure. And I've never, I've always listened to this song, and I always listen to lyrics, but I've never actually talked about the lyrics in this kind of thing. So it's actually kind of making me rethink the song a little bit after years and years of listening to it. Anyway, I don't belong here. I got to move on, dear. Escape from this afterlife, because this time I'm right to move on, far away from here. Got nothing against you, and surely I'll miss you. This place full of peace and light, and I'd hope you might take me back inside when the time is right. So to me, again, it sounds like he's leaving heaven. He's like, no offense, but I got to go back. I got to go on out on my own, but I'll come back hopefully when the time is right. Loved ones back home all crying because they're already missing me. I pray by the grace of God that there's somebody listening. Give me a chance to be that person I want to be. So I think this goes back to the beginning where he finds himself in hell, but then he also gets to see what heaven looks like, and I think he's kind of making that choice that he'd rather go to heaven, right? So give me a chance to be that person I want to be. I am unbroken, I'm choking on this ecstasy. Oh Lord, I'll try so hard, but you gotta let go of me. Unbreak me, unchain me, I need another chance to live. So again, I think he's asking, hey, put me back on earth, give me one more shot. I don't belong here. I got to move on to your escape from this afterlife, because this time I'm right to move on and on, far away from here. Got nothing against you, and surely I'll miss you. This place full of peace and light, and I hope you might take me back inside when the time is right. So, lyrically, I've always enjoyed this song. I'll be honest. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. I'm also biased. I'm a huge Avenged Sevenfold fan. So this song has done it for me for years. I love this song. So it's the reason that I often come back to it. So lyrically, yeah, great. Enjoy it a lot. Instrumentally, M Shadows. I guess instrumentally and vocally, because I'm talking about M Shadows. M Shadows, I've always loved his voice. I think he's got a fantastic voice. And I know he gets a lot. Avenged Sevenfold gets a lot of criticism, like in the metal community. At least on Reddit. When I'm on Reddit, I see people bashing on Avenged Sevenfold all the time. And I think part of it is that M Shadows, I don't think has like the I guess a typical metal voice, if you want to say that. I think a lot of metal fans are like purists and stuff like that, and so they really think that like they see M Shadows as like a pretty boy of metal, if you know what I mean. Like he can sing very smoothly and melodically. And he's not heavy enough when he does get heavy. I think that's a lot of people's criticism. But I have always enjoyed his voice, and I'll listen to just about anything he puts out. So really enjoy M Shadow's voice here. Like I said, I am a little sad because I do love his voice so much. I'm a little sad that some of the like violin and some of those extra orchestral pieces, like I had mentioned, kind of crowd his voice out of some parts, in my opinion. And so that's really my only complaint instrumentally, was that I can see, again, why they did not go with this version of it, because, again, I did think it was a little bit too crowded in many places. Although I did like the addition of it. I don't know if maybe it just needed to be tuned down, or the volume on that lowered, I guess. But, yeah, it was just a little bit too crowded. And that, again, that might just be a personal preference, because I do love to listen to M Shadows sing. And so, the guitar solo, though, I will say, it gets me every single time. Like, literally listening into it right now again, I'm like, wow, I love that guitar solo. And I almost forgot how much I love that guitar solo. I truly think that Sinister Gates is one of the best guitarists out there today. I mean, honestly, he is extremely underrated, in my opinion. And I feel like that's almost weird to say, because a lot of people do recognize his talent, but when we talk about some of the greatest guitarists of all time, or even in our generation, I don't always see a lot of my favorites come up, like Mark Tremonti or Sinister Gates. I mean, these guys are amazing on guitar. So much of what they do as far as like guitar solos, one, is sort of a lost art, but two, is just so enjoyable in the context of the song. So really love the guitar playing here, and there even seemed like there were maybe a couple of extra guitar parts in here. So I could see the small change there. And I liked it. I really liked it instrumentally. It's definitely different. I definitely had to, like, as I was listening, I definitely kind of kept my ear open for those extra little pieces there. And I think they added a lot to the song. And my one complaint, but other than that, fantastic use of the instrumentation there. Also, I love the bass at the beginning. That part I'm always like, yeah, bass. And then the drumming throughout is fantastic. I forget who did the drums on. No, it's the Rev on this album. So that's right. Sorry, I was thinking ahead to Nightmare and to the stage. But no, on this one it was the Rev. Yeah, the drumming was great. We know the Rev does great drumming. So yeah, fantastic instrumentation all around. I do kind of like how they put more like violin and other stuff throughout the song, but then the one part in the original that actually does have violin and orchestra behind it, they actually left with just guitar. And so it was almost a nice contrast that way. It seems like in the original version they basically just flip-flopped it. Let's put the orchestral parts in that bridge, and let's leave the rest of it alone. So, I really enjoyed it instrumentally. As far as the re-listen goes, so 2 thumbs up instrumentally. I'm gonna go back to that. But anyway, as far as having that replayability and re-listenability factor to it, I don't know. I think I might still choose the original over this one, but I think every now and then I might come back and try this one again. So definitely something that's going to go onto the playlist, just because I'm a slut for some Avenged Sevenfold. I'll be real with you. Yeah, so it's we're definitely going to listen to it again. But again, I don't know if I choose it over the original, so I'll give it 1 thumb up as far as replayability goes. I think I'll still enjoy it down the line. So anyway, that's it for the review. Really enjoyed this one. So they released like this entire album on YouTube. I was on YouTube yesterday, and I just saw Avenged Sevenfold everywhere, and I was like, okay, this is great. I'm gonna listen to much more of this. I probably won't, review too much more of it on my channel unless any of you want to actually hear me review more of this album on my channel. Again, I've never listened to it as long as it's been around. So this is practically new music to me, So yeah, really am excited to dive into this one personally. So anyway, if you want to record something, please leave me a comment, and I will definitely get to it. It'll be on my list. If you want to hear more from Avenged Sevenfold, of course, go support the artist, go listen to their music. But you can also check out my Spotify playlist, where I have all of the music that I've reviewed so far on my channel. It's going to be in the description down below. Feel free to check it out. I'm pretty happy with it. I honestly very often listen to that playlist on my own, just because I like a lot of the music I've done on my channel. Like, I really enjoy a lot of the music I reviewed, and it's a really enjoyable playlist, in my opinion. I'm not just trying to hype myself up, because I'm literally just reviewing music that you guys are recommending to me usually. So yeah, I enjoyed the playlist. I enjoy a lot of the music I've heard on my channel, so go check it out if you haven't already. And then yeah, if you want to support me, just all the normal stuff you do, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So anyway, I'm out for now. See y'all next time. Bye.